Hey guys, what's up? Today we're going to talk about stock footage, again.
But this time it's different. We're talking about making stock footage. We're also talking about selling stock footage. First things first, what do you want to shoot? What can you shoot? What do people need? These are all questions you need to ask yourself before you actually go out and start shooting anything. When we use stock footage in our pieces, usually it is for the reason of finding a clutch shot. In a piece we're doing right now, it is supposed to be set in New York City, but we do not live in New York, nor do we have friends in New York City that have good cameras.
No.
So, what do we need to do? We need to get stock footage. Actually, on the Video Block site, we have used tons of aerial shots and like winter shots of New York City to actually use in the piece. So, what kind of things would you look for in getting good stock footage? Or if you're making it, what are the types of things you want to do?
So when it comes to making your own stock footage and selling it, there's a lot of things you want to consider.
You want your stuff in focus. You want it to look good. You want to shoot it on as best camera as possible.
There's a lot of stock footage already out there. So when you are going to make stock footage, you want to make sure you're giving it its own unique voice and its own unique style so that it stands out from everything else. Basically two ways you can kind of approach it. You can either go very objective, where you simply try to capture a scene with the camera being very smooth, whether it's on a tripod or a dolly or a jib.
Allow whoever is going to take that footage and allow them to manipulate it in any way they want later. At the end of the day, people need that flexibility to do whatever they can with that footage.
Or you can go very heavily into style and emotion and giving the shot a very specific feeling. Let's say you happen to have a chance to film a battle recreation, like a Civil War recreation, and you want to get a very intense, like visceral, like handheld shot in the middle of that battle. Because that handheld look is related to the exact emotion you're trying to capture in that shot, it's okay to go that route. Now you might be worried that if you go out and you get a specific type of shot, that it may not be very usable for a wide range of people. Don't worry about that too much. Obviously get a variety of shots, but it's much better to have your shot have a point and make a statement than just be a vague, generic shot.
If you're on Mount Rushmore, you could shoot a big shot of Mount Rushmore, or you can go, let's frame up one of their faces perfectly and let the rest just be in the background. It's like focusing in and honing in on a particular thing in the scene rather than just trying to capture it all and hope it works for everything.
Do you by chance live near the Grand Canyon? Consider going out and getting some sweet shots of the Grand Canyon. Do you live in a desert? Consider going out and getting some sweet shots of desert animals.
It's very easy to take these kind of things in your surroundings for granted because you see them all the time. But the thing is that there's millions of people who aren't there seeing that stuff all the time, and that is the type of footage that they happen to need.
Generally when you say stock footage to somebody, stock footage, they tend to think of environmental shots. Shots of the Eiffel Tower, shots of Mount Rushmore, for example. However, try to involve people in your shots if you want them to be interesting. You know, show somebody celebrating something, show somebody being lonely, show somebody being happy. We as people like watching other people, and it's a great way to give your shot a point and make your shot tell a story. So when it comes to shooting your stock footage, you might be wondering what kind of camera you should shoot on, what kind of format the footage should be in. Long story short, you want it to be as high quality as possible.
Generally, the value of your footage is pretty much proportional to the quality of it.
So if we're gonna go out and get shots on your DSLR, uploading the raw files from your DSLR is a good idea. But if you're shooting flat and you don't have a color profile included, you may want to consider having a flat version of the file and then a color graded version of the file with the best color grade you could possibly apply, so that you save people the time and effort of having to do that themselves later on. And then when you look into video cameras, shooting on a RED is great for stock footage because you not only get a very high quality file that gives you raw settings to control, you also have a lot of resolution to work with as well.
Super smart.
What we haven't actually talked about yet is shooting stock footage for effects. Now there's some good tips to keep in mind here. Cue the tips.
Cool, good tips.
So in filming elements for effects, the very first thing you want to keep in mind is to frame the entire effect in the shot.
Gosh.
If you're filming fire, don't have it go off the edge of frame.
Yeah, if you're filming an explosion, what the heck? Like, I don't want that, like, nobody wants a cut-off explosion in their shot. Like, what's the point of that?
Obviously, if you're going for like a close-up of something and it gets bigger, that's one thing.
Don't be afraid to tilt your camera sideways at a 90-degree angle. If you're trying to shoot something going up or something that's tall, just flip it on its side and capture it as best as you can. Usually when you're filming, isolate the background. You're gonna be in a dark setting with a black background.
If it's black, it's 100% transparent. If it's white, it's 0% transparent, and everything in the middle is some sort of blend. You want it to be clean, you don't want it to be overly noisy, so shoot at a lower ISO, and then it'll make your life easier when it comes to the stage where you have to add the transparency into the shots. Because when it comes to VFX stock footage, you want variations of everything. You want almost as many variations as you can get. When it comes to things that aren't VFX stock footage, try to nail the quality.
Making my money. Making it rain money from video clips. You can set up a website and make a payment process and get all your clips up there, but chances are you're probably not going to start off with thousands of clips in your entire video library up there, and it's not going to look very cool when you only have 2 clips on your website. There's also a lot of websites out there that allow you to post your stock footage on them and sell them on the internet. Obviously, VideoBlocks is one of them. Stock footage! Yeah! How do you make your money off these sites? Usually what you do is you upload your clip to their website, and each time someone purchases it, they give you a percentage of the price it was sold for. Most video sites offer, it's usually actually only about 40-50% of what it's sold for. So you have a $10 clip, you'll make about $5 off of it. The reason this happens is because most websites make their money through just these individual sales, and they need to take that cut to keep the site up and running. Now, the difference right here with the VideoBlocks website, though, is that they give you a 100% commission, which sounds kind of crazy, but it actually makes sense because VideoBlocks is more of a subscription-based website, so that's how they get their revenue, allowing people who upload clips to get 100% of the money of clips sold. Kind of cool. Or you can burn them onto a DVD and hit the streets.
There's actually a great series of articles on the Zacuto website where they talk about selling stock footage. So if you guys are looking for more information, we'll have a link in the description below if you want to really sit down and read from a professional stock footage seller on what they do when they sell their stock footage. But if you guys have any questions, hit us up on Twitter, or I guess you can leave a comment below. We'll try to do our best to answer it.
Yeah,